Hello, my name is Lee. I'd like to welcome you to this video where what we're going to do is go ahead and take a look at how we can interact with an object and change its materials. So I was recently looking on YouTube and looking at other people's Unreal projects, and I'd noticed that some of the architectural visualizations had this option where they could interact with an object where they would walk up to the asset and then they're able to change the material. So I wanted to show you a very simple way on how to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a system where two blueprints are going to be able to communicate with each other, and when you enter the space of an object, you're then going to be presented with the option to change the material. So this is pretty easy to do. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and create a widget. And so a widget is basically a UI element. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I'm going to choose UI and our user interface. I'm going to go ahead and choose a widget. I'm going to go ahead and give this a name. So I'm going to call this, let's call this asset color picker. So we can go ahead and double click on this, and all we need to do is go ahead and set up the basic buttons here. So this is our screen, so this is representing the size of the screen, and so all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click and drag a button, and I'm going to make the height and width for this 120 by 120, and we can go ahead and place this. So once I'm going to go ahead and choose a color. Now at this point, if you know how to use the widgets, you can go ahead and create a custom button or so on and so forth. But for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to keep this simple, and by doing so, it means we can quickly move through this. So I'm going to go ahead and create two more buttons. So I've got a red button, and I'm going to have a blue excuse me, 120 by 120. And we'll have maybe a yellow or something like that. So let's move these into position, and so I'm just gonna eyeball these positions here. Let's go ahead and give this a blue color, and you can go ahead and take your time, obviously, and have whatever color you want and put them in whatever position you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and name these at the top here. Just keep it easy for us to find them when we come to adding the blueprint. So I'm just gonna call this yellow, blue, and red. Okay, so once we've done that, we can go ahead and compile this, and for now we are done with this blueprint. So what we're going to do is we now need to go ahead and set up our asset blueprint. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to go down to blueprints classes, I'm going to choose actor, because BP underscore box color, and I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and choose add component and type in static and bring in a static mesh, and let's just call this changeable colored box. You can basically name this whatever you want, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add this in here. So I'm gonna right click and go find a content browser. I'm just gonna simply drag this in here, and it looks like Unreal has crashed. So we're back here. I've just gone ahead and quickly recreated everything. So let's just go ahead and choose save all, and just so you can see, if I just jump over to the content browser, you can see that there may be a slight change in the name, but that should be fine. Anyway, so as we brought in our box, we need to go ahead and add in a collision. So let's go ahead and add in a box collision, and let's just go ahead and scale this up. And so in our system, we're just going to keep this simple, and all we're going to do is that when the player enters this box, they're going to be presented with a menu, and then they can go ahead and select the colors. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and make that a little bit more complicated. You can do something like a line trace, for example, and then have the ability to change the color. But for this tutorial, we're just going to keep this super simple. So let's just go ahead and place this into the world, and I'm going to go ahead and choose save all. And if I go ahead and choose play, you see that we're going to get absolutely nothing. So let's go ahead and start adding the code into this. Or I should say blueprint. So what we need to do is let's go ahead and open up the blueprint here, and let's just make this full screen. I'm going to go ahead and delete all these, and we can go ahead and choose viewport, and I'm going to go ahead and select the collision box, and we're going to go ahead and add the on begin overlap, and let's just go ahead and add the on begin end overlap. And what we need to do is we need to go ahead, and once we enter this space, we want the ability to show the menu. So in order to do that, all we have to do is we need to go ahead and type in create widget, and from the drop down here we can go ahead and choose the name of the widget in which we created. So in my case, mine is changeable box color, and from here we need to go ahead and render that. So in order to do that, we just go ahead and add to, and we're going to go ahead and choose this option that says add to viewport, and choose OK, and we need to go ahead and plug the target into the return value there. So now if we go ahead, close this, and go ahead and choose play, you see that as we enter the space, you see that we're now presented with the color swatches. Now as we move out, you see that they're not disappearing. So to fix that, all we have to do is go back into our blueprint, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to place this up here, and we want to go ahead and choose, we'll type in widget, and we're going to go ahead and choose this, where is it, let's see, remove, there we go. So we want to go ahead and choose this remove all widgets, and we're going to go ahead and plug this in, and we can go ahead and test that. So now if we go play, you can see that when we enter, the widgets are there, and as we leave, the widgets disappear. So now we've got that, what we need to do now is go ahead and set it so we can actually see the cursor, so we can actually start to select these. So in order to do that, all we need to do is we need to go ahead and choose to set the game mode. So we're going to go ahead and choose set game input, and we're going to go ahead and choose the set game input game and UI, and we're going to bring this in, and then from here we're going to go ahead and we need to go and add the show cursor. Now what we can also do is we can also bring out the set game mode to game only, okay, and press OK. And so okay, so first of all, let's enable the cursor, and we can see what we need to do here. So all we're going to do here is right click and choose show cursor. We need to uncheck this, and we're going to go ahead and choose the set show cursor, and we want to check the option that says show mouse cursor, and we can plug this in. And if we take this and paste this down here and plug this in and uncheck this, you see there is an issue. That's because we need to have the target. So let's just go ahead and bring in a player controller. So let's go ahead and set player controller and plug this in. Okay, so if we go ahead and choose play, you see that as we move in here, we get the mouse appears on the screen, and as we move away, the mouse disappears. Now the problem is that when we move down to select the colors, you can see that the actual input of the player is actually also still being controlled by the mouse. So the easiest way to fix this is to basically take this player controller and plug this into the target, and basically what this then says is that we're setting the input of the we're setting the input to be the play controller here. So if we go ahead and choose play, and now we go over here, you see that now we can move the mouse and we can select these buttons. Now we can still use the keyboard to move the player. So the moment we move outside of that area, oops, let's just move around. The moment we move outside the area, we can go ahead and use the keyboard again. That is to say, once we have set the game mode here, so we need to go ahead and set this back over here to the player, Now if we play, you can see that as we move in, we can select these buttons, but as we move back out, we then regain control or regain control of the player here. So this is just a cool way to manipulate the scene here. So you can see as I'm moving this around, nothing's happening, but the moment I move outside of there, then I get control of the camera again. Okay, so now we've done that, we have this entire system set up. So what we need to do now is to make it so the buttons are clickable. So what we can do is we can take this and we can just comment this out for now, and let's give this a name. Let's see, widgets controls. Okay, so in order to set this up, what we need to do is let's first of all go over to our content browser and let's create the materials first. So let's right click, choose material, and type in m_, master color, and let's double click on this and click 3 and right click and convert this to parameter, and we can just plug this in over here and press OK. And just in case Unreal decides to crash again, which it has been doing quite often for some reason, let's just go ahead and choose save all. Okay, so I can right click and go ahead and choose material instances, and I'm gonna call this mi_red, and we can go and set the colors here. So let's just overwrite these, set this to this red. Let's just close this for now. Let's do the same for the others. So mi_blue, and again, you can go ahead and take your time here with these colors. If you really want them to match the widget, you can go ahead and do that if you want to. And what was it, yellow. Now obviously these would be full materials, so you would normally actually have whatever it is you want to be applied to these materials, so you know, your textures and normal maps and so on and so forth. But for now we're just going to go ahead and choose these basic colors. So let's go ahead and open up our blueprint here. And what we need to do is we now need to go ahead and create some custom events. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and type in custom. We're going to create a custom event, and we're going to call this is red ? And we can zoom in here, and we can do the same. Is blue, and one more is red. No, it is yellow. Okay. So basically what they're saying is that these custom events is basically just going to be to change the material here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the red and we're going to type in set material, and I'm just going to uncheck this. We just want the set material, and we're going to copy and paste this. Three times. And for each one, we're just going to go ahead and set the respective colors. So we're just going to go ahead and set this one to be mi red. This one's going to be blue. And this one, yellow. Okay, now we need the target here. Now the target is going to be on the box here. So let's just go ahead and place this target over here. And so we're basically just hooking up the target to each one of these. And if I go ahead and select this box and go over the viewport, you can see, actually we don't want the box. We got the wrong one here. We want this here, there we go. the colored box, sorry. So basically we're saying that the target for these materials is that mesh. And we can go ahead and save this. So now we have our custom event fired, set up and ready to go. What we need to do now is we need to now jump over to the widget and set this up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the graph, and let's just go ahead and delete these, and let's just jump back over here and we'll set up the first one. So we're going to click the red button, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go is clicked. So on clicked, and all we want to do is we want to go ahead and type in is red question mark. And if we go ahead and compile this, it actually won't do what it is we need to do here. What we need to do now is we need to basically break this, and we need to get all the actors. So we're going to go ahead and choose get all actors in a class. There we go. And from the drop down we're going to go ahead and, well, let's just plug this in first. And from the drop down we need to go ahead and select our blueprint. So it was BP. Yeah, so what we can do is just type in BP underscore, and let's see, we have it. Let's see, there it is, color box change. And we can go ahead and compile this, and we need to plug the target into the alt action, and we can compile this. And so if we go ahead and choose play, and we go up to the box and we select the red, you see that now the material is red. So basically all we have to do is go ahead and open up this and do the same for the rest. So let's go ahead and select the blue, and let's do on clicked. Let's just go back over here to the yellow, and we're going to go ahead and choose on clicked. There we go. And all we need to do is we can just copy this twice and plug this in. And if you want to, I guess you could just use the same node, but I just like to keep these separate. And all we're going to do is blue, and we need to uncheck this, and is yellow. There it was. And we just plug these up into the respective inputs and outputs, and you can go ahead and, you know, have as many of these as you need. But once you've done that, all you have to do is compile this. And now if we go ahead and choose play, we can go to our mesh and we can go ahead and select the respective colors. So, you know, at this point you can go ahead and actually create full materials and so on and so forth, and you could go ahead and then do some more fancy stuff, like, you know, setting up which material elements and so on and so forth. But for now, that's really what I wanted to show you. I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye for now.